The amount given to a petty cashier at the beginning of each new period is. Now remember that a petty cashier is given a fixed amount of money at the beginning of every new period, and that fixed amount of money is what we call float. Okay, so when the cashier spends money, it means that the money spent during the period is supposed to be added back, or they're supposed to give that cashier that money back. That kind of money is the reimbursement, right? And the reimbursement is always equivalent to the amount of money that has been spent in a given in that period. So let's say the amount given to a petty cashier at the beginning of each new period is, it's equal to the amount spent during the previous period. Yeah, that is true. Let's go on. The amount required to replenish the float. Now, when we're talking about replenish float, it means that, to top up the float. If the float was 100,000 and during the period the cashier used 60,000, it means that the amount needed to replenish this float, to build back to that float, is 40k. So in other words, replenishing means to add back to get the float amount. So this looks also correct. The float less the cash balance in the petty cash till. In other words, if you remember, the float is the amount that is supposed to be at the beginning of every period. So if my float is 100k, and then during the period I spent 60,000, it means that if I've spent 60,000 during the period, it means that in the petty cash till I only have 40,000. So if I get the float and I subtract the 40,000, it means that what I'm supposed to be given in the new period is the reimbursement amount, 60k. And the float less the cash balance in the petty cash till, that's the amount that is supposed to be given to the petty cash. So all these things, if you go to part D, it says all the above descriptions. From what we've seen, all the above descriptions correct. They define the amount given to the petty cashier, so the answer there is D. All right, the total of the sales journal is transferred to. Now, when you're talking about the total of the sales journal, the sales journal is also called the sales daybook, and it records credit sales. So at the end of the month, the total of this sales journal, we get that total and we go ahead and put it on. We put it on the credit side of the sales account. That is how we do it. So the answer here is on the credit side of the sales account. Yeah, it's here. What is the correct treatment for checks issued during the last 2 months which have not appeared on the bank statement as at the date of reconciliation? Okay, so we are doing a bank reconciliation statement and we realize that there are some 2 checks that have not appeared on the bank statement. Now, if these 2 checks have not appeared on the bank statement, it could either be because they have been uncredited or they have just not been presented, meaning they are unpresented checks. Uncredited checks, these are checks that you have received, you have given to the bank, but the bank has just not yet credited your account. And unpresented checks, these are checks that you have issued out to your, to your suppliers or whoever, and they've just not yet deducted the money from your account. Uncredited checks and unpresented checks are handled in the bank reconciliation statement. This is where they are handled. So let's see. A should be written back in the cash book? No. Should be included in the bank reconciliation statement? Yes. So the answer is B. Let's look at some others. Should be cancelled? No. Should be included as accruals in the balance sheet? No. So the answer is B. They are included in the bank reconciliation statement. What do we put in the cash book? In the cash book, we include items that have been, items that appear in the bank statement but were not included in the cash book. Those are the ones we put in the cash book. That's 1. And then 2, also in the cash book, we include errors that were, errors in the cash book are also corrected in the adjusted cash book. Yeah, that's what we do in the cash book. So the answer here is B. These uncredited checks and unpresented checks, think of them as pending transactions. Pending transactions. The checks could either go through or they could be bounced. When reconciling the bank balance to the cash book, which of the following need not to be in the adjusted cash book? First of all, in the adjusted cash book, remember, we deal with items that are in the items that appear in the bank statement but do not appear in the cash book. Those ones are the ones that we consider in the adjusted cash book. And then also, errors in the cash book are corrected in the adjusted cash book. So which one should not be? Should not. So bank charges. Bank charges is something that appears in the bank statement but does not appear in the cash book. So this one is dealt with in the adjusted cash book. We have direct debits. This is money that is put in the bank but the people in the business are not aware of. So that is something that appears on the bank statement but does not appear in the cash book. So we correct this issue in the adjusted cash book. Then we have unpresented checks. So unpresented checks, this is a pending transaction. I mean, it's the check was issued, but it's just not yet presented. It could go through, it could not. So because it is still pending, this one is handled in the bank reconciliation statement. Then we have a dishonored check. A dishonored check is a check that was either issued or maybe it was received, but it has been dishonored. So because it has been dishonored, this one is no longer a pending transaction, so it is handled in the adjusted cash book. So the question says, which of the following need not be adjusted in the cash book? It is unpresented checks. Unpresented checks are not supposed to be handled in the adjusted cash book. They're supposed to be handled in the bank reconciliation statement. It is the rest that need to be handled in the adjusted cash book. Which of the following is false about cash discounts? What is false about them? A. Double entry is completed through the cash book. Now, let's first talk about, I've done a video on double entry relating to cash to discounts. Let's play a clip, then I'll get back to this.
On second, Mwebaze pays us by check after deducting $3 as cash discount. So that transaction shows that we were paid by check after we were paid 117 by check after deducting $3 as a cash discount. Now, being paid by check means that this amount of money was paid in the bank. Like I had mentioned in our previous session, whether money is paid by cash or in the bank, as long as there is an element of discount that is associated with the transaction, we regard it as a cash discount. So when we are paid by check, of course, it means that the amount of money in the bank has increased. So because the amount of money in the bank has increased, we go ahead and debit the bank account. That is, we debit the cash book by posting 117 in the bank column. And definitely the other item that has been affected is Mwebaze, the one that has paid us, and this took place on the 1st of May. So Mwebaze paying us, Mwebaze was a data of ours. So we go to the sales ledger to look for Mwebaze's account. In the sales ledger, when you look at Mwebaze's account, because we debited the bank account, we come and complete the double entry by crediting Mwebaze's account by 117. So we do that like exactly that. The other item affected is bank, and the bank account we're talking about here is found in the cash book on page 1 of the cash book, and this took place on that date. Now that we have established that data Mwebaze account is on page 1 of the sales ledger, we go ahead and fill the folio column by putting SL1. SL meaning this Mwebaze account is found in the sales ledger on page 1. Now remember, when Mwebaze was paying us, we allowed a discount of $3. So that discount of $3 is put in the discounts allowed column. So we go ahead and post $3. dollars, though that's the discount that was allowed when Mwebaze was paying us. In other words, Mwebaze paid us less the discounts allowed. So after posting this discount allowed in the column, we are supposed to go ahead and post a corresponding entry to this discount in the Mwebaze account. So if we come back to the Mwebaze account in the sales ledger, we treat the discount the same way we treated the cash he paid us earlier, by crediting the Mwebaze account with the discount, which is 3. The other item affected is definitely the discount, and this is found in the cash book on page 1, and this took place on the same date, on the 2nd of May.
So from the clip, you're able to see that the double entry, when we say that double entry is completed through the cash book, that is not correct. I mean, they're asking which of the following is false about cash discounts. This is false. When it comes to these cash discounts, it's not completed in the cash book. That is false. Otherwise, part B, they reduce the amount payable to settle the full obligation. That is true. They are offered for prompt payment. That is true. Then also it is still called cash discount even if the account is paid by check. That is also correct. So A is the answer for this.